Oh yeah, I guess spoilers for both parts if you even care enough. So Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths came out this past week or so, and I guarantee you more than half of y'all watching this video probably didn't even know it came out. I swear, DC Animation has been absolutely abysmal when it comes to marketing their animated movies, yet they wonder why sales aren't as high as they used to be. The past handful of years of marketing for DC animated movies would typically consist of an official trailer they would release online, then they'd call it a day. There might be some previews or clips here and there released when approaching a film's release date, but they pretty much fly under the radar. You don't need some giant marketing campaign, but at least do the bare minimum in promoting your movies to let people know they exist. My goodness. I also would bet more than half of y'all couldn't name drop like 3 DC animated movies that have been released since 2023. So the TomorrowVerse, which is the most recent DC animated film universe after the end of the previous DC AMU, is coming to a close with the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy, with part 1 having released in January and part 2 having released this month in April. I'd assume the final part 3, would come out in the next few months or so. This universe has been lackluster at best. Its time to shine definitely got cut short, as there were only like 7 movies before Crisis, with most if not all of them introducing the main players of the universe like Batman and Superman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and the Legion of Superheroes. It's been really indicative of the ongoing problem in the decline of quality in DC animation as of late, and the movies in general just lacking that spark that made them so special pre-Flashpoint Paradox. Problems with the 2 parts of Crisis on Infinite Earths so far seem to be with how the threat of the end of the multiverse is conveyed and how it incorporates characters from different universes. Ending the universe with a crisis this soon always seemed odd to me, with how we haven't gotten a proper Justice League film, because Justice League World was only about the Trinity, with several characters from the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline from the comics being absent as well prior to the film's release. DC in particular in comics has a really big crisis problem, where there would be some grand crisis event every 2 years or so. It's like, how many times is the multiverse in danger? It gets really repetitive. The whole Doomsday Clock thing with DC Rebirth, Dark Knight's Metal, Death Metal, Infinite Frontier, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths all happened within like a few years or so, give or take. On the surface level, it just didn't seem like the next logical direction to go in would be a grand crisis event film, but you do see very subtle glimpses of how it all connects to the previous DC AMU. At the end of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, John Constantine tells the Flash to go back in time and create another Flashpoint, since the film's events with Darkseid and Apocalypse had left the Earth in ruins beyond saving. You see Constantine face the consequences of his actions in the Constantine House of Mystery showcase, with the Spectre confronting him about the universe's wrath and how Constantine will deal with said repercussions as a whole.
I didn't know it was against the rules.
No matter. It is the universe that demands restitution.
Wait.
You cause the universe harm by breaking its rules. The universe will exact its price.
Power, Spectre! Kill me! Kill me!
Few TomorrowVerse films here and there would feature an old man at random places yap about the end of the world, like in the beginning of Green Lantern Beware My Power.
The world will end in a flash of light, and you'll be gone! You'll all be gone! Just like the others!
And in the first part of Crisis on Infinite Earths, you would see him play a part in warning Barry Allen about the impending doom and allowing him to time slip across different points in time and travel across different Earths, while also stating specific statements how the Flash also bears some responsibility for all this, which I could only assume is in reference to the end of Apocalypse War.
I walk all worlds that are doomed to die. My punishment.
For what?
I don't remember, but I know you share my guilt.
I am the Spectre, the wrath of God.
Guess I'm in trouble.
You bear some responsibility for all that has happened here.
How?
It happened before the beginning.
I think some of the issues with part 1 at first glance is that I feel as if they could have done a better job in conveying the timeline of certain events, as Barry just seamlessly travels to a different Earth or in a different point in time. One minute he's reliving the formation of the Justice League, next thing you know he's in Earth 3 dealing with the Crime Syndicate, and the Crime Syndicate, in comparison to their role in the Justice League Crisis on 2 Earths movie years back, for example, is just kinda lame. The only purpose they serve is to die, as Earth 3 is one of the Earths to get destroyed by the antimatter wave. But later on, you do start to see the pieces fit together a lot better, with Barry traveling to different points. And there's this cool little thing where when one of the antimatter waves is about to destroy Earth 1, the Flash grabs onto Iris and freezes time and everything around him for what seemed like several decades, to the point where him and Iris grow old together in trying to restore one of the towers that shields an Earth from getting decimated by said antimatter wave. The first chunk of this film has a really big focus on the origins of the Justice League and their first encounter with the Amazo android made by Professor Ivo, which may be cool and all, but that should have been a whole freaking Justice League movie before delving into a Crisis event. On top of that, I actually like the first roster for the most part, incorporating characters like Green Arrow and Vixen into the mix, but for whatever reason, Wonder Woman isn't a founding member, and Hal Jordan and Green Lantern rejects their offer in joining the League.
You're kidding, right? I'm already on a team. It's called the Green Lantern Corps. I'll pass.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
There are a lot of characters seen across both films, with most serving as cameo roles and not doing too much, but perhaps that might change in part 3. Part 1 mainly focused on Barry Allen Flash, while part 2 has a major focus on Psycho Pirate, who has the ability to manipulate the emotions of those around him. I'm just waiting for that oomph to kick in, that pizzazz of what makes a Crisis event so intriguing. Part 1, I guess, laid the foundation well enough to introduce the characters and get the ground up and running, but with part 2, I was sort of expecting a more intriguing ending. Sure, we learned new information, or I guess some suspicions were confirmed, like the old man finally confirmed to be Constantine.
That's my name. I've been trying to think of it for 100 years, a long time. I used to be one of the most powerful sorcerers on Earth. Name of John Constantine. Ta-da! I haven't had a ciggy in, I reckon, 1,000 years.
Other problems stem from how characters like Mr. Terrific and Dr. Light play a role as scientists trying to figure out solutions to monitor each Earth in peril, and other heroes stationed at different satellites located in different Earths in the multiverse. There's no setup for a lot of the characters prior to the movie. They just show up and act like they've been there the whole time. We've never encountered Ted Kord Blue Beetle, The Question, Dr. Light, or Mr. Terrific in any of the TomorrowVerse films prior. There was that one short Blue Beetle showcase with Ted Kord in The Question, but it has no ties to the other films in terms of story. Not to mention all the characters I just listed aren't even from the main Earth 1 in the TomorrowVerse. They're all from different Earths. While you do see different Earths across both films, it was a bit disappointing that they didn't delve deeper into the visuals and aesthetics of the different Earths across the multiverse and how they contrast with one another, but maybe that'll change in part 3. I don't know. The Bat family plays a role in part 2. Kind of. The thing about the Bat family is that in the main Earth, Batman doesn't have a Bat family yet, since this is a year 2 Batman seen in the Long Halloween 2-parter and his appearances in other films. Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 showed a flashback to where Bruce met with Dick Grayson after his parents died, but he had no intentions in taking him in or adopting him.
What's your name?
Dick.
I'm Barry. You know, my nephew Wally's about your age. He's playing video games down in the basement. Introduce yourself.
You have connections with the Central City Orphanage. I can't put him in the system in Gotham. Social services there is not optimum.
He seems comfortable with you. Have you considered maybe...
What? Fostering him? It's too dangerous. You know what my life is like. My mission demands 100% commitment. Doesn't leave much time left over for a kid.
So when all the heroes from different Earths are brought together thanks to the Monitor, it was a shock to Earth 1 Batman to meet Dick Grayson Robin from another Earth, as well as his daughter Helena Wayne Huntress.
On my Earth, you took me in after my parents' murder. Trained me. I became your partner.
That seems terribly irresponsible.
He became my family. Someone here who really wants to meet you. This is the Huntress, Helena Wayne.
Dad?
Is Selina Kyle your...
Yeah, Batman and Catwoman. A match made in Arkham.
The Bat family roster from the alternate Earth is a bit odd to say the least. You have Dick Grayson as Robin, Helena Wayne Huntress, while also having Damian Wayne as Robin in the mix, Barbara Gordon the Batgirl, Batwing, and holy crap, is that Terry McGinnis? The voice actor for Terry in the Batman Beyond cartoon, Will Friedle, is the voice of Batman Beyond in this movie. You see glimpses of the character in what little marketing there was, but don't get too excited. He barely has any speaking lines, nor is he in the movie all that much. He's just in the background whenever they have to fight off some shadow demons in Gotham, or when Batman dismisses the rest of the family.
I'm nothing like your Batman. I don't recruit children to fight in a war. That Batman is a fool.
I'll tell you what he wasn't. Alone.
The first 2 parts aren't bad or anything. I mean, they're fine. I mean, it's alright.
It's alright, and you know what though? That's typically how the bullshit goes, you feel me?
I'm just waiting for things to get really interesting and up and running, as it's just been a whole lot of setup and a lack of exploring different universes across the multiverse and delving into the diverse roster of characters. I really hope that's not the final design for the Anti-Monitor. Bro is just a giant shadow demon. Maybe all these problems will be rectified in part 3. I just hope it'll deliver. Please don't be a disappointment. I'm gonna need y'all to deliver, man. I heard part 3 is supposed to have some few juicy cameos here and there, but who knows if they'll actually deliver on that. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.